All right, so good morning. It is January 13, Friday the 13th, and it's a full moon. So I don't know if you're into that kind of thing. It's kind of funny to me. People get all freaked out about that stuff. But we are going to continue our journey through the Psalms, and we are in Psalm chapter 9 today. We're going to do the first 12 verses, and the cats are on the prowl again. They love to play during this time of the morning, so we'll just have to deal with it. So hopefully this is working. I think it may be. So let me just jump in and we'll get rolling. So it says this in verse 1. It says, "I will give thanks to you, Lord, with all of my heart. I will tell of all of your wonderful deeds. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing the praises of your name, O Most High. My enemies turn back, they stumble, and they perish before you. For you have upheld my right and my cause, sitting enthroned as the righteous judge. You have rebuked the nations and destroyed the wicked. You have blotted out their name forever and ever. Endless ruin has overtaken my enemies. You have uprooted their cities. Even the memory of them has perished. The Lord reigns forever. He has established his throne for judgment. He rules the world in righteousness and judges the people with equity. The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. Those who know your name trust in you, for you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you. Sing the praises of the Lord enthroned in Zion. Proclaim among the nations what he has done, for he has avenged the blood. He who avenges blood remembers. He does not ignore the cries of the afflicted." And so David in this psalm is celebrating the victory that God has brought to him in perhaps one of the many moments of the conflicts that David faced throughout his life. David is a warrior, so his life was often defined by battle. And as we've observed reading the Psalms thus far, he's often on the run, he's often being squeezed, and in those moments of being squeezed, he finds refuge in God. He finds refuge in God being his protector. And in this psalm, he is giving praise, he's giving gratitude, he's giving thankfulness to God, who in this moment has brought a victory. And I think what was catching my attention this morning is simply the idea of thankfulness and gratitude, and how important, how central thankfulness is to our lives, how central gratitude is to the life of faith. The Christian faith is built around a concept called grace. Grace is the Greek word for grace is the word charis, and it means gift. Paul says in Ephesians, he says it's by grace that we've been saved, and not from ourselves, or not by ourselves. We didn't save ourselves, but it was actually a gift from God. And so the Christian faith is built around the theme of grace, that God saves us and it's a gift that we receive. But the reality is this: not only are we saved by grace, but all of life is grace. This, even right now in this moment, you are receiving a gift. Just the ability to breathe, the ability to be here, it's a gift that you're receiving right now. And there's only one proper way to respond to a gift, and that is to be thankful. That is to receive it with gratitude. And so that is what David is doing here. Is he's modeling for us what it looks like to be thankful. And I would say that being thankful is a central component of living the Christian faith. Now, here's the deal. I don't know about you, but I'm not always thankful. And And sometimes I allow other things to define my life. When we don't allow thankfulness to define our lives, then there are other things that can creep in. Being spoiled, ungratefulness. And so I think it's important that you and I, we choose to be thankful. That before we can be naturally thankful, before we can live a life that's naturally thankful and in gratitude, we first have to be intentional. Because the reality is that being natural doesn't happen without intentionality at first. We have to train ourselves in these kinds of ways. And so one of the things I've learned in life is that everything begins with discipline. And that before, I'm sorry, the cats are distracting me. Before I can be intentional, or before I can be natural, I have to be intentional. And that starts with discipline. That healthy disciplines will lead to healthy rhythms that will lead to a fruitful life. And so just 3 applications. One of the things I do is I think questions are great. And I write questions and I prompt myself through questions and I think about questions. And so one of the practices, one of the ways that I am intentionally try to be thankful every day is I start my day off with a question, which is, what do I get to enjoy today? I'm the type of person that lives off a list, and so every day I write a list of all the things I have to do. But before I start my list, one of the disciplines that I have is I ask myself the question, what do I get to enjoy today? And it's trying to learn how to be grateful. It's trying to learn how to be thankful in advance. And so I'll list all of the things that I get to enjoy. Like, for example, today I have a bunch of stuff we have to do to get ready for a trip that we're taking our youth group on. But I get to enjoy the hard work. I get to enjoy the things that I need to do because it's an investment in young people who hopefully will see breakthrough and draw closer to God. And so oftentimes life is about perspective. It's about, how am I going to look at this? And even though I have a bunch of stuff to do, I get to enjoy that. I've been given a gift to be able to invest in kids, and I'm just going to take advantage of that and run with it. And then 2 other ways that I'm intentional about being thankful is, at the end of my day, I ask myself the question, what were 3 things that I'm thankful for today? And I just work through my day and think about, what were 3 gifts that just jumped out? What were some things that I really got to enjoy? And so, like, for example, yesterday, Annabelle's been home sick, but at the same time, I've been able to experience quality time with her. So that was something that was on my list yesterday. And then one last question I ask myself is, what are 3 ways that I experience God's goodness and His presence today? And what I've observed is that as I work myself through these questions on a day-to-day basis, that my heart grows in gratitude, it grows in thankfulness, and it keeps me focused in the right direction. And I think that's what David is doing here. He's showing us how to direct our hearts and to allow thankfulness to define our lives, because it's all grace. It's all grace. So hopefully that makes sense. What are some things that you're thankful for today? What does it look like for you to live a life of gratitude, to live a life of thankfulness? Because we've all been given a gift. It's life, it's the blessings around us, and how are we going to respond? So, blessings to you guys. We will see you Monday, and be praying for us with our youth group. We are taking them on retreat this weekend, and so pray that God meets them there. And so, love you. Blessings. We'll see you Monday. Bye.